So think about this for a moment. Kings have disappeared, empires have collapsed, governments have changed, currencies have come and gone, financial systems have been completely redesigned, and yet gold is still here. Thousands of years after ancient civilizations first treasured it, people are still buying gold. Investors own it, families own it, institutions own it, central banks own it. So here's today's question: why? Welcome to day 17 of 30 Days of Gold and Silver. And today we're taking a journey through history to really understand why gold has survived financial systems, currencies, governments, and civilizations that disappeared long ago. So, yesterday we talked about what can happen to gold during a financial crisis. And the biggest lesson was prepare, don't panic. Today, I want to zoom way out. Instead of studying one financial crisis, we're going to look across thousands of years. Because if we're going to understand why gold continues to attract attention today, we need to understand where that relationship between people and gold began. So, gold's story begins long before banks, credit cards, stock markets, cryptocurrency, or perhaps dollars, right? Ancient civilizations valued gold for its beauty, scarcity, durability, and workability. Gold was used for jewelry, ceremonial objects, religious artifacts, symbols of status and power, and eventually as a form of money and standardized exchange. Ancient Egyptians famously prized gold. Other civilizations across the Mediterranean, Middle East, Asia, Africa, and eventually the Americas also valued it. But here's what's fascinating: gold wasn't valuable because a modern central bank told people it was valuable. People valued it long before our modern financial institutions existed. So, why did gold become so important? Think about the characteristics. Gold is scarce. It's isn't easily found. It's durable. Gold is highly resistant to corrosion. It's divisible. It can be formed into different weights and sizes. It's portable. A relatively small amount can represent significant value, recognizable. Its physical characteristics are distinctive. And here's another important one: it doesn't spoil. So imagine trying to preserve wealth for your grandchildren using food, right? Your tomatoes aren't making it. But gold recovered from ancient archaeological sites can still be recognizable as gold thousands of years later. Durability matters. As societies became more sophisticated, precious metals became increasingly standardized. So instead of weighing pieces of metal every time people traded, authorities began minting coins with standardized weights and designs. And that was major innovation. A recognizable coin could communicate weight, purity, issuing authority, and expected value. Gold and silver coinage became important parts of commerce across different civilizations. And this connects directly to something we discussed earlier in this series. Money requires trust. Standardization helped make that trust easier. Now, throughout history, gold became associated with economic and political power. Kingdoms and empires accumulated precious metals. Gold helped finance trade and governments and military campaigns, international commerce, and the wealth of ruling institutions. But here's the most important lesson: owning gold didn't make an empire immortal. Rome still declined, governments still fail, wars still happen, and gold isn't some magical force that prevents economic or political problems. It was an asset that could easily survive even in the institutions surrounding it change. Eventually, carrying large quantities of metal became inconvenient. So imagine trying to conduct a major modern business transaction by rolling in with carts full of gold. Wow. So financial systems really they evolved, right? Paper notes became increasingly important. In various systems, paper currency could represent claims connected to gold or silver. This made commerce more convenient. So instead of moving large quantities of metal every time a transaction occurred, people could exchange paper claims within the financial system. And eventually, some countries formally linked their currencies to gold through what became known as the gold standard. In simplified terms, under various gold standard systems, a currency's value was linked to a specified quantity of gold. But it's important to understand there wasn't just one universal gold standard system operating identically everywhere throughout history. Different countries used different arrangements at different times. So the United States stopped domestic convertibility of currency into gold decades ago. And in 1971, President Richard Nixon ended the US dollar's convertibility into gold for foreign official holders under the Bretton Woods system. That helped mark the transition toward the modern international monetary system that we have now. So today, the US dollar is what we call fiat currency. And that doesn't mean that it doesn't mean the dollar is fake money, and it doesn't mean that it has no value. Its value operates within a monetary system supported by factors including government authority, taxation, economic activity, financial institutions, monetary policy, and people's willingness to accept dollars in exchange. So you use dollars to what? Pay taxes, buy groceries, pay your mortgage, receive wages, conduct business. So when people say the dollar isn't backed by gold anymore, that is true. That is true. But don't jump from that statement to therefore the dollar has no value, because that's not an accurate conclusion. And now we come full circle. Most of us aren't buying groceries with gold coins. So why does gold still matter? Because gold continues to have demand from several sources, including investment, jewelry, central bank reserves, technology, and industrial uses. And despite enormous changes in the global financial system, gold remains a globally traded asset. And that's remarkable. But remember, historical longevity doesn't guarantee future price performance. So history makes us understand gold. It doesn't allow us to predict its future price with certainty. So this is one of the reasons gold became so fascinating to me. I'm interested in technology. I'm interested in digital business. I'm interested in modern ways of creating income. But there's something powerful about studying an asset that existed long before the internet, Wall Street, modern banking, the Federal Reserve, the United States itself, and people still value it today. That doesn't mean I worship gold. It means I respect its history enough to want to understand it. So here's today's principle: study the past, but don't assume it predicts the future. So history gives us perspective, history gives us patterns, history gives us lessons, but history doesn't give us guarantees. And that's true whether we're talking about gold, stocks, real estate, currencies, businesses, or entire economies. Learn from history without becoming trapped by it. So let's recap. Number one, gold has been valued by civilizations for thousands of years. Number two, scarcity, durability, divisibility, portability, and recognizability help contribute to its historical monetary role. Number three, standardized gold and silver coinage became important to commerce. Number four, financial systems gradually evolved toward paper currency and banking. Number five, various gold standard systems linked currencies to gold. Number six, the modern US dollar is no longer convertible into gold. And number seven, gold, nonetheless, remains a globally traded investment and reserve asset. And finally, gold's history is extraordinary, but history is not a guarantee. Now, I want to hear from you. What surprised you most about today's journey and through gold's history? Was it A, gold's thousands of years of history? B, why gold's physical properties made it useful? C, the development of gold coins? D, the gold standard? E, the transition to today's fiat monetary system? So put A, B, C, D, or E in the comments and tell me what you learned. And if you'd like to learn more about physical gold and silver and explore the platform I personally use, you can visit the link in the description. And remember, don't buy gold simply because it's old. Don't buy it because someone says currencies are doomed. Don't buy because of fear. Learn first. Understand what you're buying. Understand ownership. Understand costs. Understand storage. Understand liquidity. Understand the risk. Then from there, determine whether precious metals belong in your own financial strategy. And of course, if you're enjoying 30 Days of Gold and Silver, like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves financial history. Because tomorrow, we're asking a fascinating question in day 18. And we're asking the question, why do wealthy families own gold? Now, is gold really a rich person's asset? And what can everyday families learn from the way wealth is thought about across generations? And really, how do we separate smart wealth preservation from stereotypes and marketing hype? So we're talking about that tomorrow. And I'll see you in day number 18. And in closing, though, let me give my closing thought. History doesn't tell us exactly what will happen tomorrow, but understanding yesterday can help us ask much better questions about the future. Guys, this is Billy B. Josie III, President and CEO of Stoneleaf Ventures, LLC, where we help everyday people create generational wealth and legacy through gold and silver and digital marketing. God bless you guys, and I'll see you in day number 18.